What is up, everybody? My name is Swift, and today I'll be telling you everything you need to know about controller settings so you can maximize your potential in Fortnite. So the first and most important thing for controller players is optimal binds. And so optimal binds for controller players are binds that allow you never to take your thumbs off of either joystick, because that messes with your movement and it makes you slower. And if you have to take your thumbs off of your look joystick or your movement joystick, it means that you have to your character has to be standing still or just floating still, and you can't move whenever you want to. And so to be able to do that, you have to set up your binds so that your thumbs can always be on the joysticks and they never have to move off of them. Alright, so as far as optimal binds, there's a few main ways that controller players can have optimal binds. And so the first way, which I personally don't have experience with, but a lot of people do use this, is playing claw. If you don't know what playing claw is, it's basically where you bend your index fingers onto the top of your controller so you can hit your face buttons like jump and edit and like reload, build, stuff like that with your index finger. And some people play the right claw, so the right index finger taps their face buttons on that side. Some people play like left claw, which is where your left index finger presses like your D-pad buttons. And some people play both. I personally have never really tried claw, but I know that a lot of people use it, like Miro, who has won, like 5 FNCSs. He just plays on a default PlayStation 4 controller, and he plays double claw, I believe. And so another way that you can have optimal binds on controller is playing paddles. And that is personally what I have the most experience with. I have played on a just normal PlayStation 4 controller that had 2 paddles on the back, and now currently I play on a Scuff Reflex controller, which has 4 paddles on the back. And I seriously enjoy this controller and would highly recommend it if you're looking for a 4-paddle controller. It is a little bit on the expensive side, but it's definitely worth it, and I've had it for a while now, and it's very durable, and it was overall a very good purchase. Alright, so now that we've covered some techniques on how to get optimal binds, I'm going to go over my binds really quickly, and as well as some other settings, and then we'll get into sensitivity, which applies to all controller players, whether you play claw or paddles or neither. So we'll get into that. Alright, so I play on a PlayStation 5, so none of this is really big on settings. If you have a monitor or a TV that supports 120 frames, definitely have that on, because it will seriously improve your gameplay from 60 FPS. Brightness and colorblind settings are really personal preference. Some pros use colorblind settings to help them see better in the storm, is what I've heard. But you can also mess with your monitor settings if you have a monitor. And so all of this right here, like the color blinds and the colorblind strength, is really just personal preference. Motion blur, most people have motion blur off. It increases your input delay, and so it's normally good to leave the motion blur off. The show FPS is also just a personal preference. So there's not too much through here. Matchmaking, I just keep it to auto. It'll put you on the best server that you're closest to. Toggle sprint, I personally think that's the best, especially for how my binds are set up. Auto open doors, that's more or less personal preference. Mantle activation, it's where you hold jump instead of hold forward, and most people prefer holding jump, but you can try holding forward if you would like. Hold to swap pickup is very helpful because if you are, let's say if you're running around and you see a gun, you're running towards a fight, and you see a gun that you want, you can easily just hold it for like barely a second and it'll just swap it right out. There we go. It'll just swap it right out, and then you can, let's say you have an empty slot, but you don't want to carry both a pistol and an SMG, like I just kind of did. And so you just swap it out and you keep running towards the fight, or however you're doing it, and it's a lot simpler than having to like go into your inventory and drop, pick up, whatever. And toggle targeting, mark danger when targeting. This is mainly just personal preference. The preferred item slots has it so where when you pick up a gun, it'll automatically put it to a certain spot, and so that's very helpful. And so you just have to figure out how you like your inventory and then set your preferred item slots to how you like it. Reset building choice. Yeah, definitely have that off. Disable pre-edit option. So this is a big one, and it is a little bit difficult slightly if you have it off, but it reduces your input delay. And if you don't know what if you don't know what pre-edits are, I'm going to show you. So like if I'm building around and I haven't built a wall right here, right? So I can go ahead and hit my edit button, and I haven't built it yet, but I can we'll make this edit, and now it will build like this. So as you might imagine, sometimes if this happens accidentally, it's not good, but it takes a little bit of getting used to, but after a while you won't really be able to do it on accident. And it for some reason having this disabled raises your input delay by a lot, and I turned it off and I definitely felt a difference. And so I would definitely recommend having this like pre-edits, so you can have pre-edits on, because it definitely raises your input delay if you have it on. So disable pre-edit option. Auto confirm edits. This is a very new setting. This is new for controller, and it's really big. So basically what this does, if you have confirm edit on release on, that means that when I make an edit, as soon as I release it, like I'm still holding my trigger right now, as soon as I release it, it makes the edit. And so if you don't have edit confirm on release on, then when you make this edit, you can release your trigger, but you have to press another button. You have to press a button that will confirm the edit. And so what this means, oops, I went too far. So if you have it on none, you will have to, like, so I released it, now I'm looking around, and I have to hit another button, as you can see it's O, to confirm the edit. And I'm not used to it. I haven't played on confirm edit on release off in a very long time, and so I usually play on confirm edit on release, and so that was none. So if you do edit, that means that when you're just normal editing, that it will automatically do the edit as soon as you release it. But when you are resetting, you have to hit reset and confirm. So this will be instantaneous, but if you're resetting, you have to hit the confirm button. And then if you do reset, it's basically the opposite. So if you're editing, you have to hit confirm, but if you're resetting, it will automatically do it as soon as you hit the reset button. Now if you hit both, which is what I play on, you can edit as soon as you release it, and then same for resets. So I can do that, but as soon as I hit the reset button, it automatically resets, which is personally what I like. The downside to this is that if you're building along and you're here, and let's say you're boxed up, and then somebody is smacking on this wall from the outside, and then they come around and they jump over the top or whatever, and they start smacking on this wall. Well, with both on, as soon as you edit and reset this, it will reset, and then you have to turn and edit it like that so you can be protected. But if you have your confirm set to where it's only on edit, you can do this, hit the reset button, and then turn and flip it all in one motion. So you can, I'm not used to this because I don't use it like this, but if you're like this, you can reset and then do that all in one motion. But personally, I think that I have more situations where me not being able to reset fast enough in the end kills me, and so I set it to both. Most of this down here isn't too important. The report performance stats, I have that set to disabled because it will increase your input delay. Same for the replays. I have creative mode replays because I'm not really sure. Honestly, I should probably turn it off. These three are, as long as you turn them off, they won't have any effect on your delay. Reticle, ammo indicator, damage numbers, feedback, damage ammo scare, all that is personal preference, and honestly, this entire thing pretty much is personal preference. Yeah, that's personal. Have all these set to off because there's a chance to use them that they will increase your input delay. All right, controller settings. So, always have build immediately, Builder Pro set to on. Your edit hold time, it depends what you use for editing, like as far as editing goes. Slide hold time, that's pretty much personal preference. It's not really a big deal either way. Not that. Vibration, set that to off because if you are shooting and there's vibration and the player you're trying to shoot is really far away, it can kind of mess with your aim. Turn advanced options on. I would definitely recommend that so you can have a little bit more control over your settings. But do know that these settings right here, the look sensitivity and the ADS, they do affect your advanced settings, even if you're not able to change them while advanced settings are on. So just be aware of that. Build mode sensitivity multiplier, edit mode sensitivity multiplier. So 1.9 to 1.8, these are my settings, and I would definitely recommend you try these out for a little while. But generally what you want to do is keep it somewhere between 1.8 and like 2.2, 2.3. Somewhere in there is the best, is what most people have their build and edit sensitivity multiplier set on. For me, I use 4242 for look and horizontal and vertical. All these I have off. And then for my ADS sensitivity, and if you don't know what that is, it's basically where you're aiming down a scope or down your sights, and this is how sensitive that is. All these are personal preference. I have these off. I suggest you try it that way at first, but if you want to experiment around a little bit, you can definitely turn these on. Look dampening time. So this is a little bit more complicated. So if you read it, it says the time it takes to reach the expected look rotation speed after applying initial input to the controller's right stick. This allows for small view adjustments by tapping the stick, set to 0.0 seconds to disable the dampening. So that sounds really complicated, but I'm going to tell you what it means. So what that means is if I begin moving, because your right stick is your look stick, right? So if I begin moving it, it is going to do just like this, just because I'm moving, right? If I have it set to 0.0, it will automatically start moving as fast as it can. But if I have it set to a little bit, it will begin, as soon as I start moving it, it will begin its motion a little bit slower. So basically that means is that if I'm in like a box fight or something, and say the opponent's head is like right there where it says edit, and I want to make a small adjustment so I can be able to hit a headshot, this movement right here is a very small space. So having this set to 0.07 allows me to be able to make that small adjustment a lot easier. Linear and exponential, I would suggest linear, but you may try exponential. There's a small portion of people, of controller players out there that do play exponential, but I would personally suggest linear, and that's what most people stick to anyways. Aim assist, you obviously want to have that as high as possible. Dead zones, it kind of depends on the controller. Like I said, I use a scuff reflex, and most controllers I usually stick to between 8 and like 12 at the max, but for this controller, and I've played on this a while, and I usually stick to a 9.9. Sound, all this, pretty much personal preference. I would suggest turning on visual sound effects. It's a big help, and it will help you hear a lot of things that you are not able to hear, even if you do have a really good headset. Having this on used to take away your surround sound, like if you had 3D headphones, but I don't believe they do anymore. So I'm pretty sure that even though this is off, you can still kind of hear in surround sound if your headset allows you to do that. So, all right, combat controls, build controls, edit controls. These are my binds that I suggest you try, and I'm going to explain them because I have 4 paddles on the back. So over here, I have triangle is my pickaxe, which is these 4 buttons are all on my paddles. So toggle pickaxe, reload, interact, switch mode, and jump are all on my paddles. I have crouch, slide, repair on my right stick. Map is still on the middle pad thing. Left stick is edit. Down is inventory. So what I wanted to do here is have my binds to where if I have to take my thumbs off a controller, it can be as short as a distance as possible. So inventory, it's not like you're not going to really be checking your inventory during a fight, but regardless, I tried to have it very close to where my edit button is, so I can hit my inventory really fast. Place marker. So actually what I do for this sprint and place marker is I actually play like I'm playing claw. Like, so when I'm in a fight and stuff, I have both my, oh shoot. Okay, something just screwed up, but it's fine. As I was saying, if I'm in a fight, I don't play claw. Like, I play 4 paddles with my 2 index fingers pressing the bumpers and the triggers. But when I sprint, I actually do press this top D-pad or cross or whatever you want to call it right here. I do press that with my index finger, and it's a really fast movement, and it might feel a little awkward at first, but once you get used to it, it's not that hard. I personally don't think I could play like claw, like only claw, and I love my paddles, but I would try this out. Same with place marker, and you might notice that I have switch mode / edit on this left D-pad. Okay, so, but I already have edit and switch mode over here. So what this does, this is another trick. I don't know why it works, but if you bind edit to something, personally left stick, I think that's the best. If you don't play claw, of course. And then switch mode to one of my paddles. If you bind switch mode / edit to a bind that you do not use, it lowers your input delay, and so you'll be able to be smoother and faster. And I didn't really think that was true until I tried it out, and I definitely saw a difference. So what you might not see here is an emote button. So actually, I can only emote in build mode, just because of how many how many different binds with all this different stuff that has been added to the game, how many different binds you need to have. And so I can only emote in build mode with this bind right here, and then I can augment select while I'm in build mode as well. Switch mode, edit, auto sprint, these are all the same really. And then edit, my reset button is on my paddle, and then with my confirm edit on release, it'll automatically reset as soon as I hit the reset button. Alright everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe, and comment down below if you have any questions or have any suggestions that you want for a next video, and I'll see you in the next video.